My mother carries your picture in her pocket. Her mother was flustered and told her to be quiet. The alien delegation materializes in the command center without warning. Captain Lisa Morgan freezes mid-sentence as three towering figures shimmer into existence, their crystalline bodies refracting the harsh overhead lights into rainbow patterns across the walls. The security team raises weapons instantly, but Lisa waves them down with a sharp gesture. You were not invited, Lisa says, keeping her voice steady despite her racing pulse. The lead alien, its form shifting between solid and translucent, speaks in perfect English. We do not require invitations. We come with questions about humanity's newest representative. Lisa's jaw tightens. Representative. The word tastes bitter. Earth didn't send a representative. The collective took one. Ambassador Quinn is resting, Lisa says carefully. She's had a difficult transition. Ambassador? The alien's voice carries something like amusement. Is that what you call her now? Before Lisa can respond, footsteps echo from the corridor. Amy Quinn appears in the doorway. 7 years old, clutching a worn stuffed rabbit. Her mother Kate rushes behind her, face pale with panic. Mommy, why are the pretty lights here? Amy asks. The lead alien tilts its head, studying the child with an intensity that makes Lisa's skin crawl. You brought offspring to a military installation? She's not just offspring, Kate says, voice shaking but defiant. She's my daughter. Your daughter, the alien repeats slowly. Who speaks 17 languages she has never been taught? Who solved our quantum equations in her sleep? Who sees through dimensions your species cannot perceive? Amy steps forward, unafraid, her small hand reaching toward the alien. Kate grabs her shoulder, but Amy shrugs free with surprising strength. My mother carries your picture in her pocket, Amy says to the alien. The room goes silent. Kate's face flushes crimson. Amy, that's enough. But Amy continues, her young voice clear and certain. She looks at it every night when she thinks I'm sleeping. She cries and asks why you took me. The alien's form ripples. We did not take you, child. We awakened you. There is a difference. Is there? Lisa cuts in, stepping between Amy and the aliens. 'Cause from where I stand, you invaded her mind, rewrote her neural pathways, and turned a normal kid into something else without permission. Permission? The alien's voice hardens. Your species was dying. Your sun degrades faster than your scientists admit. Your planet warms beyond recovery. We offered salvation through evolution. Kate pulls Amy back, wrapping both arms around her daughter. She didn't need saving. She needed a childhood. Childhood is a luxury extinct species cannot afford, the alien says. We chose her because her mind was compatible, because she could bridge the gap between your kind and ours. Because without children like her, humanity has perhaps 3 generations remaining. Amy looks up at her mother, eyes too old for her face. Mommy, they're not lying. Kate's hands tremble as she holds her daughter tighter. I know, baby. I know. The alien's form shifts, becoming more solid, more defined. A face emerges from the crystalline structure, humanoid enough to be unsettling. We must continue the integration. The child's transformation is incomplete. Over my dead body, Kate says. That can be arranged, another alien responds from the back. Its voice is colder, lacking the first one's careful diplomacy. Lisa's hand moves to her sidearm. Around the room, her security team mirrors the gesture. The tension crackles like electricity before a storm. And down. Lisa orders her team, though she doesn't relax her own stance. We're not starting a war in my command center. War? The lead alien seems genuinely puzzled. You misunderstand. We are not your enemies. Then leave, Kate says. Leave my daughter alone. Amy pulls away from her mother's grip, taking 2 steps toward the aliens. Kate reaches for her, but stops when Amy turns back with a look that freezes everyone in place. It's not a child's expression. It's something ancient and vast, peering out through young eyes. They can't leave, Amy says. None of us can. The choice was made 6 months ago when they first made contact. Lisa feels ice settle in her stomach. What choice? Earth's council rejected their proposal for integration. Earth's council was not asked, the lead alien says. Humanity was. That's the same thing, Lisa argues. No. Amy shakes her head. Every human dreamed the same dream that night. Everyone saw the same vision. Everyone was given the same choice. Most don't remember. But deep down, in a place words can't reach, humanity said yes. Kate's legs nearly give out. Lisa catches her elbow, steadying her. That's impossible. I don't remember any dream. You do, Amy says gently. You dreamed of water rising, cities drowning, children crying. You dreamed of fire from the sky and ice covering the fields. You dreamed of extinction. And then you dreamed of light, of change, of survival at a cost. She pauses. And you chose survival. Lisa's mouth goes dry. She does remember. Everyone remembers. The night 6 months ago when the entire planet woke up screaming or crying or laughing hysterically, when therapists were overwhelmed and hospitals filled with people unable to explain their terror, when governments tried to dismiss it as mass hysteria caused by solar flares or atmospheric anomalies, you manipulated us, Lisa says. We showed you truth, the alien replies. Your scientists hide the data because they fear panic. Your leaders delay action because they fear economic collapse. Your species excels at ignoring problems until solutions become impossible. We simply removed the ignorance. And the children? Kate's voice breaks. Why take the children? We did not take them. They volunteered. She's 7, Kate screams. She can't volunteer for anything. Her conscious mind is 7, the alien corrects. But consciousness is not the entirety of being. The deeper parts of her, the parts that existed before language and will exist after thought, those parts understood what we offered, and they accepted. Amy reaches out and takes her mother's hand. I'm still me, Mom. I still love strawberry ice cream. I still hate broccoli. I still have nightmares about the dark. But you also solve equations that our best scientists can't understand, Kate says, tears streaming down her face. You speak languages from planets I've never heard of. You see things that aren't there. They are there, Amy says softly. You just can't see them yet. Yet? Lisa jumps on the word. What do you mean yet? The alien's form pulses with what might be satisfaction. The children are the first generation. They will teach the second. The second will teach the third. Within a century, humanity will shed its limitations like a snake sheds old skin. You will join the collective not as refugees or supplicants, but as equals. And if we refuse, Lisa demands, if we say no now with full understanding, the alien is silent for a long moment. When it speaks, its voice carries genuine sorrow. Then you will die as you have lived, alone, afraid, clinging to a rock that no longer wants you. Kate pulls Amy close again, this time less protective and more desperate. Is there no other way? There are always other ways, the alien says, but they all lead to the same ending. Humanity's time on Earth is measured in decades, not centuries. Climate change accelerates beyond your models. Resource wars are inevitable. Pandemics grow more frequent and deadly. You stand at the edge of a cliff, and you could either learn to fly or learn to fall. Amy looks up at her mother, and for just a moment she's simply a child again. Scared, confused, wanting comfort. I didn't want to change, Mommy, but I couldn't let everyone die. Kate sobs, pressing her daughter's head against her chest. I know, baby. I know. Lisa watches the exchange, her mind racing through scenarios and strategies. She's a military officer. She's trained for combat, for tactics, for clear enemies and clear objectives. But this is something else entirely. This is evolution at gunpoint. This is survival that looks suspiciously like surrender. How many children? She asks. 1 in every million, the alien responds. 7,000 worldwide. Enough to seed the change, not enough to tear families apart. Except you did tear families apart, Kate says bitterly. You took our normal and made it impossible. We took your extinction and made it avoidable, the alien counters. Judge us harshly if you wish, but judge us after your species survives. The command center doors burst open. Colonel Jake Pierce storms in with a full tactical squad behind him, weapons raised and ready. He stops short when he sees the aliens, his weathered face hardening into stone. Captain Morgan, step away from the hostiles, he orders. They're not hostiles, Lisa says, not moving. Not exactly. They invaded my base without authorization, Jake snaps. That makes them hostile in my book. The second alien, the one with the colder voice, shifts forward. Its form becomes sharp, angular, threatening. Your weapons cannot harm us. Your aggression is pointless. Want to test that theory? Jake raises his rifle. Colonel, stand down, Lisa commands. That's an order. With respect, Captain, I take my orders from Central Command, not from officers who've been compromised. Lisa's face flushes. Compromised? You've been in contact with these things for weeks, Jake says. You've let them access our facilities. You've put personnel at risk. And now you're defending them while they admit to experimenting on human children. They're not experimenting, Amy says, her small voice somehow cutting through the tension. They're helping. Jake's expression softens slightly when he looks at the child, but his weapon doesn't lower. Kid, they messed with your brain. That's not helping. That's assault. Is surgery assault? The lead alien asks. You cut into flesh to remove disease. We cut into consciousness to remove limitations. The principle is identical. The difference is consent, Jake fires back. We ask permission before surgery. You ask permission from those who understand the necessity, the alien responds. A child with appendicitis cannot consent to their own surgery? The parent decides. We asked humanity. Humanity decided. Through dreams, Jake says incredulously. You're basing planetary transformation on dreams? Dreams are not less real than waking, the alien says. They are simply less constrained. In dreams, humans acknowledge truths they deny while conscious. In dreams, they are honest. Kate suddenly speaks up, her voice stronger now. I want to see the others. The other children. The other families. The alien tilts its head. Why? Because if this is happening to 7,000 families, then we're not alone. And if we're not alone, maybe we can figure out what this really means. Together. Lisa nods slowly. She's right. You keep talking about humanity as a collective, but you've kept us isolated. Individual families dealing with individual transformations. That's not collective. That's divide and conquer. The alien's form ripples, and for the first time it seems uncertain. We separated you to prevent panic, to allow gradual acceptance. You separated us to prevent resistance, Jake says. You knew if families talked to each other, organized, they'd be harder to control. We do not wish to control you, the alien insists. We wish to save you. Then prove it, Kate says. Bring us together. Let us meet the other families. Let the children interact. If this transformation is really for our benefit, it should withstand scrutiny. The aliens confer silently, their forms merging and separating in complex patterns. Lisa watches, fascinated despite herself. After a moment, they separate again. We will arrange a gathering, the lead alien says. But understand this. What has begun cannot be reversed. The children are changed. Bringing them together will accelerate the process. They will learn from each other, grow faster, become less human, and more other. Are you prepared for that? Kate looks down at Amy, who stares back with those two old eyes. I'm not sure we have a choice. There is always choice, the alien says. But some choices close doors that cannot be reopened. When? Lisa asks. 3 days, the alien replies. We will provide coordinates. Bring whoever you wish. Bring weapons if you must. But bring open minds, or the meeting will serve no purpose. Jake steps forward, lowering his weapon slightly. And if we don't like what we see, if this gathering convinces us you're a threat, then you will do what humans always do, the alien says sadly. You will fight. You will lose. And you will die wondering if pride was worth extinction. The aliens begin to fade, their forms becoming translucent again. But before they disappear completely, Amy suddenly runs forward, reaching out. Wait, they solidify slightly. Yes, child? The picture, Amy says. The one my mom carries. It's not of you. It's of me. From before. From when I was normal. She turns to face her mother. She carries it to remember who I was. Because she's afraid of who I'm becoming. Silence falls heavy as lead. Kate's face crumbles and she pulls the photograph from her pocket with shaking hands. It shows Amy at age 5, gap-toothed and grinning, covered in mud from playing in the backyard. A normal child. A child without stardust in her eyes and universe in her voice. I'm not afraid of who you're becoming, Kate whispers. I'm grieving who you were. Amy walks back to her mother, and despite everything, despite the changes and the strangeness, she's still small enough to wrap her arms around Kate's waist. I'm still her mommy, I'm just also more. The lead alien's voice softens. Love is humanity's greatest strength. It is why we chose you. Any species that can love this deeply can survive anything, even change, even loss, even transformation into something new. Or it's why we'll resist you, Lisa says quietly, because we love too much to let you take what makes us human. Then come to the gathering, the alien says, and see if what we offer is loss or evolution. See if what we bring is death or birth. They vanish completely, leaving only shimmering afterimages and the smell of ozone. The command center erupts into chaos as personnel rush forward, scanners and sensors sweeping for any trace of the alien's presence. Jake immediately starts barking orders, establishing security protocols and quarantine procedures, but Lisa only watches Kate and Amy, still holding each other in the center of the storm. The mother clutching a photograph of who her daughter was, the daughter becoming something no photograph could capture, and between them, a love that might be humanity's salvation or its final tragedy. 3 days pass, like 3 years. News of the gathering spreads through classified channels faster than wildfire. Governments scramble for position, military forces mobilize, scientists demand access. Parents of the changed children began emerging from hiding, desperate for answers or community or simply proof they're not alone in their nightmare. Lisa spends those days reviewing files on the other 6,999 children. Each file tells the same story with different details. Normal child, sudden change, impossible abilities, frightened families, and in every case, a parent carrying something from before. A toy, a drawing, a lock of hair, a photograph, physical proof that their child was once ordinary. It's like they're mourning, Lisa tells Jake as they prepare the transport convoy. But the children are still alive? Maybe that's worse, Jake says, checking weapons inventory. Death is final, you grieve, and eventually you move forward. But this? Every day they see what their kid was and what they're becoming. The grief never ends because the loss keeps happening. You think the aliens are wrong? Lisa asks. About humanity choosing this? Jake pauses, a rifle half-loaded in his hands. I think humanity chose survival, but survival and living aren't the same thing, and I think those aliens know that. I think they're counting on us being too scared of death to care about what we become. The convoy leaves at dawn. 20 vehicles carrying personnel, equipment, and 47 families with changed children. The location is remote, a government facility in Nevada that was officially decommissioned 5 years ago. Unofficially, it's been a black site for projects too sensitive for public knowledge. Now it's ground zero for humanity's next step forward, or its last stand. They arrive to find the facility already occupied, not by aliens, but by hundreds of other families. The parking area overflows with civilian vehicles from across the country. Inside the main hangar, chaos reigns. Children run and play while parents cluster in anxious groups. Military personnel try to establish order, but keep getting overwhelmed by the sheer number of people demanding answers. Amy grips Kate's hand tighter as they enter. Her eyes scan the crowd, and Lisa sees something shift in the child's expression, recognition. Not of faces, but of something deeper. They're like me, Amy whispers. All of them. Indeed, the children all share that same quality. Eyes that see too much, movements that are slightly too precise, voices that carry harmonics human vocal cords shouldn't produce. They're diverse in age, race, and background, but unified in their strangeness. One boy, maybe 9 years old, approaches Amy. His parents follow nervously. You're strong, he says to Amy. Stronger than most of us. I'm not strong, Amy replies. I'm scared. Being scared and being strong aren't opposites, the boy says. My name is Chris. I can see probability clouds. Every decision branches into possible futures. It's like living in 1,000 timelines at once. Another girl joins them, younger than Amy. I'm Sophie. I can feel emotions like physical things. Right now, this building is drowning in fear and anger and grief. It's heavy, like trying to breathe underwater. More children gather, each introducing themselves, each describing impossible abilities. One sees through walls. Another hears thoughts. A third can manipulate local gravity. Lisa watches, stunned, as the children form a circle, hands joining, and suddenly the air around them shimmers with that same quality the aliens carried. Captain, one of her officers calls out, we're detecting energy readings off the charts. The children are generating some kind of field. Kate tries to pull Amy away, but Amy won't move. She's locked into the circle now, eyes closed, face serene. All the children wear the same expression, peaceful, united. The adults can only watch helplessly as their children connect in ways they cannot follow or understand. Some parents cry, others rage. Jake has his weapon ready, though Lisa doubts it would help even if there were something to shoot. Then the aliens appear. Not 3 this time, but dozens. They materialize around the perimeter of the hangar, forming their own circle around the circle of children. The double ring creates a pattern, a symmetry that makes Lisa's head hurt to look at directly. They are beginning to understand, the lead alien announces to the assembled humans. The children see what you cannot yet perceive. They are becoming the bridge. Bridge to what? Someone shouts from the crowd. To everything, the alien replies. To the collective. To the galaxy. To forms of existence your language has no words for. They are the first step, but you will all follow. In time. Like hell we will, Jake yells, raising his weapon. Dozens of other soldiers follow suit. The hangar fills with the sound of safeties clicking off and weapons charging. But before anyone can fire, Amy speaks. Her voice is her own, but it carries an echo of something vast. All the children speak in unison, their voices blending into harmony. We see it now, they say together. The truth you showed us. Earth is dying. Not might die, not could die. Is dying. The oceans are acidifying beyond recovery. The ice caps are gone within 20 years. The atmospheric cascade begins within 40. Extinction is certain within a century. We see it. We see all of it. Kate falls to her knees. Amy, Beatty, come back. Amy's eyes open, and they're glowing faintly. I am back, Mom. I'm just also forward and backward. And everywhere the data suggests we can still be if we change. This is manipulation, Jake accuses. Weapons still trained on the nearest alien. You're programming them to sell your invasion. We are showing them truth, the alien responds calmly. Truth you cannot face because facing it requires accepting your own failure. Humanity has centuries to save itself. You chose profit over planet. Comfort over survival, and now the bill comes due. We offer an escape. Not from consequence, but from extinction. By making us into you, Lisa says. By making you into something new, the alien corrects. Something that combines your passion with our perspective, your creativity with our technology, your potential with our longevity, our humanity with your inhumanity, Kate says bitterly. The children's circle breaks suddenly. They stumble, released from whatever held them. Parents rush forward to catch their kids, to hold them, to check them for damage. Amy falls into Kate's arms, exhausted and trembling. I'm sorry, Mommy, Amy whispers. I'm so sorry you have to choose. Choose what? Kate asks, though part of her already knows. The lead alien steps forward, its form more solid than ever before. Almost human. Almost. The children have shown you the data. Now you must decide. Join the collective willingly, begin the transformation of your species, and survive. Or reject us, cling to your current form, and face extinction with dignity intact. That's not a choice, someone shouts. That's a threat. No, Amy says, still in her mother's arms. It's reality. The aliens didn't cause climate change. We did. They didn't make our sun unstable. Nature did. They're just offering a solution to problems we created ourselves. Jake lowers his weapon slightly, confusion warring with anger on his face. So what, we just surrender? Give up being human because we screwed up our planet? You give up one version of human to become another? The alien says. Your species has transformed before. From single cells to complex organisms, from ocean to land, from prey to predator to philosopher. Evolution is not betrayal. It is survival's truest form. Lisa steps into the center of the room, positioning herself between the aliens and the armed soldiers. You talk about choice, but you took it away when you changed the children without asking. You forced this situation by making it impossible for us to say no. That's not offering salvation. That's hostage negotiation. The alien's form flickers, and for a moment Lisa sees something like regret pass across its translucent features. You are correct. We acted with urgency over ethics. Your timeline is shorter than you know. Within 5 years, the cascade begins. Within 10, your civilization collapses. We had to move quickly. Or you could have just told us, Lisa argues, given us the data, let us choose with full information. We did, the alien says quietly. 17 times over the past century, we sent warnings to your leaders. 17 times the data was classified, suppressed, or dismissed. Your governments know. They have always known. They simply chose denial over panic. Silence crashes over the hangar like a wave. Parents exchange glances. Soldiers shift uncomfortably. The implications settle heavy as lead. That's a lie, someone says weakly. Is it? The alien gestures, and suddenly the air fills with projections. Documents, emails, classified reports, all stamped with government seals. All detailing catastrophic climate data, all recommended for suppression to prevent public disorder. Dates going back decades. Kate stares at the evidence floating in the air around her. She recognizes some of the names on the documents. Politicians she voted for, scientists she trusted, leaders who smiled on television and promised everything was manageable while privately preparing for collapse. They knew, she says numbly. All this time they knew. And they chose to let you die ignorant rather than live informed, the alien says. We made a different choice. We chose to save you despite yourselves. Perhaps that makes us arrogant. Perhaps it makes us criminals. But it also makes us your only chance. Amy pulls away from her mother, standing on shaky legs. She looks at the projection of the photograph Kate still carries, the normal little girl she used to be. Then she looks at her mother with eyes full of stars and sadness. I miss being her too, Amy says softly. I miss not knowing. I miss thinking the world was safe and good and would last forever. But I can't unknow what I know now. None of us can. She gestures to the other children, all standing together, all watching their parents with the same ancient sorrow. We carry this knowledge so you don't have to. We change so you can stay the same a little longer. We become others so humanity can remain human for one more generation. And then? Lisa asks. And then your children change too, Amy says. And their children. And slowly over decades, humanity transforms into something that can survive what's coming. Something that can thrive in the galaxy beyond this dying world. Kate's legs give out. She sits hard on the concrete floor, the photograph clutched in her hands. I don't want to lose you. You won't, Amy promises, kneeling beside her mother. I'm still your daughter. I'll always be your daughter. I'll just also be more. And maybe, if we're lucky, that more will be enough to save everyone else's daughters too. Jake finally lowers his weapon completely. This is Ashen, this is insane. All of it. We're really discussing abandoning humanity because some aliens say we have to? You're not abandoning humanity, the alien says. You're expanding it. The essence of what makes you human, your creativity, your passion, your love, that does not change. Only the vessel changes. Only the limitations lift. Lisa looks around the hangar at the assembled families, at parents holding children who are already half stranger, at soldiers prepared to fight an enemy they don't understand, at a species backed into a corner by its own mistakes and offered a way out that feels like defeat. How long? Lisa asks finally. How long do we have to decide? The children have already decided, the alien says. They chose in that circle. They saw the futures, weighed the options, and accepted transformation fully. The question is whether you will support them or fight them, whether you will help or hinder, whether you will be the generation that saved humanity or the generation that chose pride over survival. Kate stares at the photograph one more time. The gap-toothed grin, the muddy clothes, the pure, uncomplicated joy of a child who believed in forever. Then she looks at Amy, her strange, beautiful, impossible daughter who carries universes in her eyes and catastrophe in her knowledge. Slowly, carefully, Kate reaches into her pocket and pulls out a lighter. The photograph catches flame quickly, curling and blackening as the image disappears. Amy gasps, reaching out, but Kate shakes her head. I don't need a picture to remember who you were, Kate says, voice breaking but determined, because I'm going to be here to see who you become. Every step, every change, every impossible thing. I'm going to witness all of it, and I'm going to love all of it, because you're my daughter, and nothing, not transformation or evolution or becoming something new, will ever change that. Amy throws herself into her mother's arms, sobbing. Around the hangar, other parents make similar choices. Some burn photographs, others break toys. One man deletes a video from his phone, each destroying their talismans of before to make room for whatever comes after. The aliens watch silently, their forms shimmering with something that might be approval or might be relief. Jake approaches Lisa, his weapon slung over his shoulder, defeat written across his weathered face. I hope they're right, he says quietly. I hope this really is survival and not just elaborate extinction. Me too, Lisa admits. But I think we're about to find out. The children gather again, hands joining, eyes glowing, brighter. The transformation accelerates, and humanity, stubborn and adaptable and desperately clinging to hope, takes its first stumbling steps into an uncertain future where the only certainty is change. In Kate's pocket, ashes drift like snow where a photograph used to be. But in her arms, warm and solid, and still somehow her daughter despite everything, Amy holds on tight and whispers, "Thank you for choosing me." And Kate, her heart breaking and healing in the same moment, whispers back, "Always, baby, always."